this will lead us to the next topic, is that the coalition, or we call the Gog and Magog coalition, which have been prophesied. What are the countries included in this coalition? And the reason why there was joining this coalition, or what is the purposes, or what are the purposes of this coalition? Now, Ezekiel chapter 38 verse 5, we just read a while ago. It includes Persia, Cush, and Put will be with them, and all with shield and helmets. And later, we also know that some part of Sheba and Dedan, or which is part of Yemen today, and Saudi Arabia today. But in the end time, the God would lead this coalition of nations to attack and plunder Israel. So very obviously, we know Iran is Persia, or we call Persia is Iran, modern Iran today. Cush was the descendant of Ham and is now Sudan and part of the southern Ethiopia, and it also include Eritrea or ancient Kush in the south of Egypt. So we are going to see that this coalition also begin to include what? Sudan today, or we call Kush or Sudan today, and maybe some part of Ethiopia as well. And then Put was also the descendant of Ham. It is now Libya and part of North Africa. Do we see these countries are coming together to attack Israel? At least we know that Libya, Sudan always have the conflicts with Israel. For sure, Iran and Turkey have a lot of conflicts with Israel. And even recently, Syria also even want to have more conflicts with Israel as well. And then there's another name, it's called Gomer. And Gomer was also the descendant of Japheth and associated with people around the Black Sea or Anatolia, also part of Turkey. It also includes the Western Turkey and Eastern Europe. So if we talk about Eastern Europe, some other people even think not only Russia but also Ukraine or even Germany today. So Gomer is associated with Cimmerian. For those who want to understand more, you can make a study more about this one. Cimmerians are the tribes in Eastern Europe, and possibly they settle around in modern Ukraine and Turkey today. And Gomer also suggests to the Germany or the Germanic peoples according to the book of Jeremiah chapter 51 verse 27. So, if Germany involved, how is it possible? We don't know, because it's part of EU. How EU is going to involve? Is that for positive or negative? We don't know. But these are the biblical prophecies mentioned about all of those countries. And then another name is that Togarmah was also the descendant of Gomer. So it's also included some of the Eastern Europe part here. So Bet Togarmah include the Eastern Turkey, Caucasus, and Armenia, and Georgia as well. And especially if you heard about the ship of Tarshish, right? About that idiom, it will talk about the successful trade that go out from Spain in those days. So it might also include Spain, because it was a place where we know about the ship of Tarshish. Or the house of Tagoma, traditionally linked with the peoples of Caucasus and Anatolia. So that is the biblical prophecy. And it's also mentioned another two names, which is Sheba in the modern day of Yemen, and another place that we call Dedan, or the modern Saudi Arabia in the Gulf state or part of the Arabian Peninsula. Peninsula. Okay. And this one is very, very interesting. The Bible said that these countries, like Egypt, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, or we call Sheba and Dedan, they do not engage in this war, but they may protest against Israel verbally. Does it ring the bell? It will lead us to what we call today is the Abraham Accord. And these countries like Egypt, Sheba or Teta, or we call UAE, and we have other countries begin to be included in the Abraham Accord. They may not like Israel, but for peace sake, that they sign the peace treaty together. And today, in the Abraham Accord, we see that like UAE, Bahrain, Morocco, Sudan, and other countries already signed the peace treaty. And especially, even Egypt is also made a historic peace partner since the Camp David Accord. So we see that the prophecy, biblical prophecy, has been fulfilled.